Hello everyone, my name is Rez, and today we're going to be going over how to tank normal and heroic Demonic Inquisition. This is the second boss in the raid, and for tanks, there's a couple things you have to worry about. There's swapping between bosses, you have to move the bosses, you have to move yourself, you have to pay attention to a couple different mechanics, and you have to jump in between two different areas of the boss. So I'm going to go over the three things you need to know. One is Atragon, one is Belak, and the other one is Torment. First thing I'm going to be going over is Atragon, the guy on the left, and this is the only thing you have to tank in this fight. A couple things he does. First of all, every attack he does inflicts additional torment to you. And the first ability he does is called Scythe Sweep. It's a cleave in front of him. After a couple seconds, he does the cleave, it does damage, knocks you up, and also inflicts torment. The second thing he does is right here. He'll target a player and cast Calcified Quills. After a couple seconds, he'll launch Shockwave in that direction, dealing damage to everyone hit and knocking up, inflicting torment. Last thing he does, when he reaches 100 energy, he'll cast Bonesaw. He'll start spinning and slowly moving towards his target. You'll take a lot of damage and take a lot of torment when you're standing close to him in the actual whirlwind. You want to kite him off to the left and then back to the boss when the cast is ending. Alright, next thing here is Belak. He's your other target there, the Jailer Demon. The only thing you need to worry about for him is when he reaches 100 energy, he'll cast Fell Squall. He'll get a green circle underneath him and erupt in flames, as you can see right here. At this point, you have to bring Atragon away from Belak, because the closer you are to Belak, you'll take additional damage and also additional torment. It's important not to damage him at this point, because you'll take damage and torment when you attack him. When the cast is finishing, you can bring Atragon back to Belak and continue on with the cleave. The last thing you need to worry about in this fight is Torment. You notice the red bar I have at the top of my screen. Everything that does damage to you also inflicts a bit of Torment. When you get to high enough Torment, you're going to want to use your extra action button to jump into the other side of the map. It's important that you do not reach 100 Torment. At that point, you take additional damage and also don't receive as much healing. When you press that extra action button, you jump down into the cage. This demon down here, he actually doesn't hit very hard, but there's a dot that you take while you're down here that amplifies as the longer you are down here, and also there's little green swirls on the ground you want to avoid. When you damage him, he spawns little yellow orbs. When you pick those orbs up, your torment goes down. When your torment reaches 0, your extra action button pops up again, and that will bring you back up to the other side of the map. It's important that you always have one tank up there at a time, because if both tanks go down at the same time, the boss doesn't have a target and he'll start meleeing your raid. And whenever your tanks want to swap, usually around 80 or 70 stacks of torment, that's when you're going to want to go down there. And what happened there is I was at 80 torment, I went down, and when I was at 0, my other tank was at 70 or 80-ish. He called for a switch, I went up, and then as soon as I was up, he went down. Again, it's important that you always have one person up. Alright, now we're going to get in the pull. Like I said before, the only person you have to worry about here is Atragon. Belak can't be taunted, he can't be tanked, he can't move, he just does whatever he does. So, I'm going to start here, grab aggro on Atragon, and face him away from the group, because one of the first things he does is cast that Scythe Sweep, and you want to face that away from your raid, specifically your melee DPS, attacking Belak. As soon as he's done casting the sweep, he'll do calcified quills. Make sure you don't get hit by it. That shouldn't be a big issue. My DPS are just interrupting Belak and DPSing him down. They do share health, so they are getting passive cleave on both of them. But don't worry about positioning here. Like after this Scythe Sweep, Belak is going to do his Fell Squall, so I'm going to bring Atragon away to the left side of the map here. I should have moved him a little bit sooner, and you should too. Bring him all the way over here, as far away from Belak as possible. DPSing him down, still facing him away, because he does that sweep. Once that cast finishes, you can bring Atragon back, but be careful, because Atragon is about to reach 100 energy. At that point, he's going to cast that Bonesaw. Call out for your group to be away from him when he is approaching 100 energy, because you don't want them to get hit by that. I'm just slowly cutting him off to the left, and as the cast is finishing here, I'm starting to move back to Belak. And I'm almost at high torment, or 100% torment, so I'm going to probably have to go down here pretty soon. And like I said before, you always want to have at least one tank up here at a time. Right now my other tank is down. He just came back up, and now I'm going down. Grabbing the ad here, just do your normal rotation. Just any damaging abilities have a chance to spawn these orbs. Avoiding the green swirls on the ground, grabbing these orbs, and just waiting for my tank to call for the swap again. Alright, I'm back up. Make sure when you're coming up, you know the situation. You know, like, okay, he's casting Bonesaw, I should be aware of that. Okay, we're doing Fell Squall, I should be aware of that. And just know what you're getting into. Bringing them together, DPSing them down. Fell Scythe is coming out, facing it away. Or Scythe Sweep. Belak is close to reaching 100 energy. I need to start moving Atragon, which I am not doing. Alright, here we go. Moving him away. There's the Fell Squall, making sure I let my raid know that they need to swap, be away from Belak. Make sure you save your cooldowns here. If you have to stay in the cage for an extended period of time for some reason, or yeah, that's basically the only way you'll actually take a lot of damage. The bosses don't hit that hard. Maybe pop a cooldown for if you have to walk through Bonesaw for some reason, or if you just don't have anything up for the Scythe Sweep. And if you need to, you can help your DPS by interrupting Belak, but they should have a rotation or an order down. You probably don't need to worry about that. Doing the Scythe Sweep again. He does this a lot. Make sure you're always facing him away from the group, just like anything, just face him away. Belak's reaching 100 energy again, moving Atragon away. And I'm doing that really late. You should be moving him away earlier than that. My tank called for a swap. I'm going down. The dot really starts to hit hard right around 8, 9, and higher stacks. You should normally be able to solo it up until then, though. And as you're down there, your healers are sometimes jumping down there so they can top you off. And that's the fight. It's pretty easy. Make sure you're moving Atragon at the right times, facing him away from the group because of the sweep, managing your torment, making sure you and your tank are swapping at the correct times, and yeah, pay attention to the energy bar. Make sure you're moving Atragon away when Belak is reaching 100 energy, and make sure everyone is moving away from Atragon when he reaches 100 energy. Do not damage Atragon when he does Bonesaw. Do not damage Belak when he does his Fell Squall, and everything will go well for you. Thank you for watching. I really hope this helped you. Up next is going to be Mythic Demonic Inquisition, and I'll see you later.